going on, everybody? Gboogie from Gboogie.net. Today's Friday, February 18th, 2011, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina again at this point in time, and it's a lovely 75 degrees, t-shirts, shorts, the whole 9 yards. Nice gentle breeze. I'm just here today. Figure I'd give a little bit up today. Some stuff that's not in the Scammer's Handbook. I give it up because a lot of people misuse some of this stuff. I tell them, it's like anything. Something's good, it always leads to abuse. You know what I mean? Overuse of certain techniques. Certain people have to know when to apply them. So today's Scammer's Handbook Chronicles is about corporate aging. I have to make sure I make this clear. Like a lot of all the techniques that are in the Scammer's Handbook, the foolproof business credit ebook, No Money Down, is a list of different scenarios that you can incorporate into what you're doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use them all. Because we teach people about public filings and how to use them to manipulate trade references on your business credit report. And then you got some people that take it way too far. I might even get emails. People are like, what's too much? I'm like, well, too much is whatever anything over what you can show is collateral. And those that have the material know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's not to be taken literally. And also as a disclaimer, cause most of this stuff, especially the stuff that seems to dive mostly into the gray area. Most of this stuff is for not entertainment purposes, but educational, informational, and informative purposes. Like those are the reasons why we basically let you know what you can do, different options you have, and then it's up to you to use your better judgment and always, make prudent choices. So, with that being said, let's get into it. All right, when it comes to aging, there's a misconception too. When you say corporate aging has to do with aging the business itself. You can't change the date that the business was incorporated. I'll give you a good example. I got a company called Gboogie UK, it's an offshore company, and in the United States, we were always operating under Gboogie America, but it was always just like a DBA type of situation. So what we did was spin it off, started a U.S. branch, and named it, Gboogie America Incorporated. The tax ID is from '08. You know what I mean? So if you actually look it up, it'll say incorporated whenever. But when I write down when the business started, I would put 2008. That would age the business operations, not necessarily change the date on the corp. That's the whole point of it all. You can start a company today, but on paperwork you have existing obligations and existing references that date back, as far back as 3 years. Some of these things, like I said, it's for informational, informative purposes, educational purposes. Once I give you a good example, same working example. Tax ID in 2008, I still had to file. They wanted me to file 1120 form and the 941. But since it was like more of a DBA and then a tax ID added later, there's no corporate structure to file those proper forms. So if I was to file them today, I would date it back. I would backdate it to 2008, even though it's 2011. So if I incorporate it today, I still get the credit, the retroactive credit for the fact that the business has been in operation longer than that. You know what I mean? And it'll even state that on your Dun & Bradstreet report. It'll say incorporated this date, but business was started on this date. And they'll have third-party, verification on exactly what I'm saying. So it's not like you could just tell them anything and they take your word for it. So this is some of the tactics that people may or may not use to get around some of the 2-year minimum requirements for new businesses as far as attaining funding and things like that. So that's really what it's all about. In the same scenario, a person, when you fill out for a tax ID, it asks you what date did the business start. You can also, one could also put a year or two prior to whatever year it is now. And that, along with filing 0 on your income tax return for those past 2 years, same as I would do, and this is all completely legit, I would have verifiable third-party evidence in the form of IRS tax returns that show the past back taxes or past filings or past years filings that I made. And not only that, when you bring the public filings into play, certain loans and certain agreements or certain lease agreements that were done under the DBA also can be, they'll be retroactive. So you can compile 8, 9, 10 different documents, all legit, that can be verified by a third party to show that your business was in operation prior to the date that it was incorporated. That's what corporate agent means. Got some people out here, like I said, don't be fooled by people out here making crazy videos on YouTube. This stuff is actually real. It's not a myth. Corporate agent, it does work. It works. It's not even like an accident. It happens all the time. I give a lot of examples about that. Like, you can have a landscaping business for the last 10 years and then finally decide to structure it formally. And on that application, when it asks, when did you start your business, are you going to put that you started it today? Or are you going to put that, you started it 10 years ago? And as long as you can prove that you started it 10 years ago, even if it was under sole proprietorship, even if it was just under your social security number and the name of the landscaping business was your government name, which is also legal, you'll be able to at least produce documents, even whether it's under a 1099 or whatever the case may be. So the point is, you'll be able to prove that you were in operation by having loan agreements that were notarized with dates on them that are prior to it. This is not saying that you should use every single, option available or search every. You don't want to really. Some things, overkill is not a good thing in some situations. Oh man, here we go. So I should jump in the car before the track gets blocked. Too late. Wow. I guess we're gonna call it even on this one. Handbook. Gboogie.net. All that.